Good morning. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. My name is Leon Jones. Today is Sunday, November 13th, 2016. Tune into the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That time and date is subjected to change. I will notify my audience via a video that I do, or you can reach me on my Twitter and Facebook pages. The links are at the bottom of all of my videos that I post. Also, if you like the channel, please become a subscriber, because I'm giving you educational information from a professional, mature perspective. In this channel, we don't deal with any drama or any negativity, because we have enough of that going on. So I like to keep everything positive, because it is a learning environment. Knowledge is power. And if you have a business that you would like for me to discuss right here on YouTube and or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. If you have a comment, you'd like to make a comment, leave it in the comment section. Make sure that your comments are pithy, no bloviating or pettifogging, if you wish to opine. Now, on to this morning's topic. We're talking about the post-election protests. That's the name of this video. Post-election protest. Now, we live in America, and we're supposed to be a democracy. Technically, we're not. We're a democratic republic. In other words, our freedom is based on laws. What is going on is more like, I call it a revision of the hippie culture, or the OWS culture, the Operation Wall Street, that happened in 2010 and 2011. I want to tell everybody who's on the left, what you all are doing is protesting in a violent fashion. And somebody's going to end up in jail, paying fines, or dead. And for the media, I want you to pay close attention, because most of these young children, and that's what they are, they're white children. And I don't want to hear that it's black people that are always destroying communities. It's a lot of white people. And I've seen plenty of videos. Saw one in Baltimore. I saw one in Chicago where they pulled a black man out of his car and they beat him because he was a Donald Trump supporter. I've seen businesses get destroyed, buildings being lit on fire, violence occurred. In this country, we are allowed to protest, but protests should be peaceful. If you look at the Tea Party, even if you don't like the Tea Party, they had their protests. At the end of the day, they cleaned up after themselves. They weren't violent. It was peaceful. It was coherent. What you have now is a bunch of scum out there who's really irrational about their thinking. They're living at home with their mamas or their dads, not paying any type of rent, not responsible at all, probably don't even have a job. But you're wasting your time trying to change the election results. It's not going to happen. Look, everybody on the right, and I'm an independent voter. I didn't vote for Obama. But guess what? Waited till the next time came around. He lost again. Waited till the second time came around. The people on the right, if they have done this same type of mischief, the media would pick up on it. Now, why is it the media picking up on this? Because I believe that the media is in on it. And they could be getting sponsored by billionaire George Soros. See, what George Soros wants is a socialist country. Michael Moore wants a socialist country. Now, I bet this protest is organized somewhere. But my eyes are on George Soros. He's responsible. He was responsible for funding the Black Lives Matter movement. The problem with the movements on the left, they become domestic terrorism. If you're going to have a protest, you got to be rational. You're not going to change the results. But I'm not doing this video based on the irrational thinking. I'm doing this video because black people have always been looked at as being destructive to businesses and their communities. This time, in the Occupy Wall Street, it was the majority white kids. And it's funny how, okay, the media picked up on it, but there really wasn't any backlash from it. But when we had the riots in Ferguson and Baltimore, there was a lot of backlash. And this is where we as black people looked like we were the predators. See, the problem with the media is staged in the urban areas. That's what it is. And I'm telling each and every one of you, if you're going to protest, know what you're protesting for. And what some of you want is to change the election results to suit you. The Electoral College is fair and square, so each and every state gets representation. If we didn't have the Electoral College, the urban areas or the populated areas would be the one electing the president. I lived in the state of Maryland. And the reason why Maryland always goes Democrat is because of Baltimore County, Montgomery County, Prince George's County. It's because they have the most population. And Baltimore City, it's the most population. Because if you take those 4 counties out of the state of Maryland, and Maryland only has 23 counties plus Baltimore City, Democrat would never win. Now, I think there should be an electoral college for state gubernatorial races as well. That'll never happen. But just because you're not getting your way, what you ought to do is organize like the Republicans do and get set for 2020. Get set for 2018 as well. Because a lot of you don't know how to protest. And the media, in my humble opinion, they're going to let this happen. Because I believe the media is supported by the left wing as well. I mean, you could see the faces of people like Martha Raddatz, who worked at ABC. She was the one that was involved with the first debate. She was nearly crying when Donald Trump won. The media is supposed to report honest journalism. I just don't want this protest to get out of hand where innocent people are killed. I mean, you have young people defecating on people's property, throwing eggs at people's property, trying to harm innocent citizens. My question is, where's law enforcement? Because if law enforcement can't do it, then there's going to have to be martial law. And we don't want that, because that's when the National Guard has to come in and utilize their security forces. When you get to that point, law enforcement is lost. Now, hopefully, individuals will come to their sense. They're not going to change the election results. It's not going to happen. It's not how the process works. So all you all are doing is wasting your time. And I can remember when the Philadelphia Phillies, and I was attending Temple University in 2008 when they won the World Series. It wasn't black folk out there rioting and turning cars over. I can remember up there in Prospect Park, which is in Pennsylvania, not too far from Chester, Pennsylvania, off of 95 and Route 291. Saw people turning cars over, lighting cars on fires because the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series. That wasn't black folk doing it. It was white folk doing it. And what I am tired of is black folk getting a bad rap for being violent, tearing up buildings, pulling people out the car. It's a lot of you white folk are doing it. And these are the young, immature, spoiled white folk that are doing it, who should be looking for jobs. You don't have to agree with the election results. But what you need to do is respect other people's property, respect other people's opinion on who to vote for. And that's the problem with the left in this country. This is why I don't like engaging in any type of debate with left-wingers. They're too emotional, too irrational, and they get violent. They don't have to get violent. If you don't like this country, get a passport and move out of this country. Go to Canada, go to Mexico. Because I'm going to tell you something. Go to some of these dictatorial countries with that nonsense, they're going to assassinate you. I mean, I've been over there to the Middle East. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Turkey. The Constitution over there is not the same. In fact, I remember when I was in the Navy, somebody urinated on a statue. What happened? The admiral had to lie and tell the Turkish government that it's a ritual that Americans urinate on statues just to get this guy out of jail. And when you sit in jail over in the Middle East, you don't come out for a long time. It's not like jails here. So I'm urging all of you protesters and media, start coming to your senses. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to live in this country, you must follow law and order. And let me bring something else to the forefront. If you don't want government in your lives, stop behaving like troglodytes, which are apes, prima donnas. Because all you're going to do is force the hand of this next administration to become tougher on law and order. I mean, I can remember the days where I could sit in front of my own house with a bottle of beer or wine, my own steps, or an alcoholic beverage. Walk down the street as long as it's in a bag and I'm not hurting anybody. It was a long time ago. But you see, when you have moronic behavior or demonic behavior, all our rights are stripped away from us. This is when we have this government intervention. And a lot of you on the left want government intervention. But you want government intervention when you benefit from it. I mean, if Hillary had gotten in office, I don't believe you would have seen the same type of behavior on the right that you do on the left. And I just believe individuals who are on the left wing of the political spectrum know that most of us disagree with the type of government you want. You want a communist type of government. You say you're for the little guy, well, you really aren't. You just use that as a catapult to your agenda of what we call a hostile government takeover, so government rules everybody with an iron fist. You don't want freedom. You want dictation, tyranny. Everybody needs to buy Mark Levin's book called Liberty and Tyranny. Read that book, because there's information that is going to blow your mind. And for some of you who are in school out there protesting, and some of you educators, children walking out of high school over the election, I would never be allowed to walk out of my high school. And education department or the teachers allow that. And I've just lost all respect for the education system in the United States. That's elementary school, middle school, and college. And then there was a video, it was on Tommy Sotomayor's channel, and it's floating around, and I believe it went viral, where they had a mock election in a school, and that African American voted for Donald Trump, an 8-year-old, and the mother put him out of his own house. Said, we don't have that up in here. That's a problem. We talk about diversity in this country, but diversity should be based on thought, not just race, sexual orientation. Those are different types of diversities. But if we cannot come together and recognize that it's healthy to have different opinions, different viewpoints about a subject to help us grow, then we must go down there to Venezuela, live for he's passed, Hugo Chavez, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong. These are all dictators. And they killed a lot of people, millions of people. So if everybody thinks Donald Trump is Hitler, he's not Hitler. He can't do but so much without the help of the Congress and Senate, just like Obama. You have to get mature, read some books. It's okay to protest. But you have a number of these innocent people afraid to come to work, get in their car, go to the store, because they may be caught in the crossfire because of irrationality. You have that with a lot of the environmental folks who are on the left. They used to go into different car dealerships if they didn't like SUVs and try to burn every SUV in a lot. What is that going to do? That could be a particular job for you as a salesperson, but you're going to tear up people's businesses because you don't like the outcome of something. Folks, one thing we need in this country is better parenting and better education, because it starts at home. And it's gotten worse. It's going to continue to get worse until we have a massive domestic terrorism plot. Because I can tell you, if you come into some of these states that have big gun toters, big NRA folks, that's not going to happen. Because they're strapped. See, I notice where all these protests are taken, they're in the liberal cities who have anti-gun laws. And I believe a lot of these protesters are cowards. They really don't understand what's going on in a political process. Anyway, they've been fed a bunch of malarkey by educators. And you professors out there, I don't care if you have a PhD. You're supposed to be showing an example. You're supposed to teach diversity of thought in your curriculums, not to bring your personal opinion and indoctrinate students. You can't do that. And that's what the problem is. So I'm going to sum this video up with this. Number one, need to go back to the family structure. Number two, we seriously need educators to promote diversity of thought. Because without diversity of thought, we're going to have tyranny. Number three, if this protest keeps going on, it's going to promote martial law. And then with one stroke of the pen when Donald Trump gets into office. He's going to take more and more of our rights away, even when it comes to protesting. And see, all you're doing is feeding the fire. And your lefties got to understand that the Republicans have the House and Senate. Also, the media. I don't want you looking at this as a black issue. I can understand what happened when Freddie Gray, some of these blacks got shot. Yes. Did that have to happen? No. But black people are always accused of being the ones who are always rioting and destroying people's property. When we had these movements like Occupy Wall Street and today. And they are a lot worse when white folk do it. The difference is it's the media. The media doesn't give it as much play as it does black people. Because the media, if you think about it, it's in the urban areas, all your TV stations. Now, I know Fox News, they've been doing a good job. And shout out to Fox News. You don't have to like Fox News. I actually like Fox News. Do they have their bias? They do. However, Fox News is not a news channel. It's a news analysis channel. The only people who really do news are probably Shepard Smith, Martha McCallum. Fox News and conservative talk radio, they've been on this protest, but the liberal media has not covered it. So I'm hoping the liberal media is going to get out there and do their jobs. Because one thing about irrational people, no matter if you're left or right in a political spectrum, you're a person, and they're going to go from the purpose of the protest to actually harming random people. So again, the election results aren't going to change. Be mature and peaceful about your protest. Because we don't want anybody to get hurt. Also, again, families, educators, and media. Now, Hillary did say this, and I believe it as well. It takes a village to raise a child. We need to raise children a lot better instead of having our own agendas. If we're going to get something done in this country, the left and the right and the center are going to have to work together so we can maintain some order. Because without order, you got chaos. And when you got chaos, you have irrational behavior, destruction, and loss of rights, and more bureaucracy. And that's this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. My name is Leon Jones. Till next time, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed day.